Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I remain your host Agu Joseph. In this video, I'll be sharing with you diverse ways you can apply to removing any background of any image in Photoshop. Please, without further ado, let's dive into this video. The first thing I have to do is to locate the file I want to remove the background. This is an image. Okay, I basically got this image from pininterest.com to be precise. So I'll open this in Photoshop and this is the image. So over here in Photoshop, there are various tools you can basically use to remove or select your image before cropping out the background, such as these following tools. The marquee tools, we have rectangular marquee tool, elliptical marquee tool. These are all selection tool. Likewise, lasso tool, polygonal lasso tool, magnetic tool. Likewise, we also have object selection, quick selection, magnetic one. All these three are various selection tool and they work in diverse ways. So for instance, if I'm trying to make selection in form of rectangle, I can make use of each of these. If I choose to make use of lasso tool, this basically allows me to make selection in form of circular or free hand sketching. Okay, that is for that. Control D to deselect. Why this basically allows me to make selection in form of straight line paths. You understand? So you make your selection in a linear path. That is depends on which tool you are basically using. And one of the things each and every one of these two has in common is that they have the same property panel. If I click on any of these, you notice we have this called new selection, add to selection, subtract from selection, and intersect with selection. Likewise, if I switch to these others, we also have what the same feature, add, subtract, and among others. They still have the same features. Okay, but for this tutorial, I'll be making use of each and every one of them where it is actually needed. Okay, so I'll start with quick selection. This basically enables me to make selection in form of circular parts. Okay, I can basically scale up the size of my selection to using the square brackets key beside the P button on my keyboard to scale up my selection. Okay, the square bracket key beside the P button enables you to scale up your selection too. So I can make my selection around the parts like this. Okay, and Control Z, okay, to undo changes. So I can make my selection this way, okay. Likewise, I make my selection this way, go to this other end, make your selection like this, make sure these ends are actually okay. Now, if you notice, while I was making the selection, my tool I'm using is called the quick selection tool. And if you notice on my mouse now, you notice it's in form of a circular part with a plus in it. So in a situation whereby I over add a selection like this, I over add a selection like this, how do I go about fixing this? So I have to switch from add to selection to subtract to selection. So is either I go here to click on this or I hold Alt on my keyboard to invert it manually. Okay, so it all depends on whatever you want to do. So I can still say, okay, I want to use add to add this and zoom in properly to this and see if this is actually giving me proper selection. If the selection tool is too big, you scale it down to get whatever you want. Okay, and if it's not giving you what you want perfectly well, you can switch to another tool. Maybe let me see lasso tool to be precise. I can scale it up and get to the region I want to fix. Okay, here I'll make sure that this is on add selection. Is either you click it or you hold shift to actually take you. Okay, so you can see that the tool has the plus icon beside it. So that is to say I want to add. So I'll just come over here like this with this freehand sketch like this. You have to be slow and steady and be a very good user of the mouse to basically make your selection perfectly. So you just know where you start and you actually free your mouse where you are done making selection. I'll just take it to around where I started and it will fix those parts. So similar technique, you just go around your image and check to be sure. You can see over here, this is not needed. So I'll just add the selection to take out this selection on this end. That is for that. And what else? This is too much. I'm currently on what? Add selection. So how do I fix this? I have to go to what? Subtract selection. Is either I click on it or I hold Alt. You can see that if I hold Alt, it moves from add to subtract. So I'll hold Alt and make my adjustment like this. Slow and steady. It must not be perfect, but just make sure you select around the edge of the image. Okay, this works for me. What else? I think this works for me perfectly well. So I think I'm done with the whole selection. So if you are done with the whole selection, I can notice I made some mistakes here. Like around here, I don't need it on the eyes. I'll take it out from the eyes, take it out from the eyes as well. Okay, so if I'm done, I fit everything to screen. So I fit everything to screen. The next thing we have to do, currently we are on the lasso tool. You can be on any of these two and they still have the same property over here. So we'll be making use of this called select and max. So over here, I'll just click on select and max and wait for this prompt to basically comes up. So over here on this prompt, we'll head over to the right hand side where we'll have property panel. Basically, yours will be default on 0% for transparency. So I basically scale up mine to 100. I need to see the background that is actually removed. Check on remember settings, then come over here to edge detection. To be precise, you can set your edge detection to around 7 pixels. It basically work with the edge of your image, okay, and enable the smart radius. Over here, I basically don't do much around this end. I just go down to all the way to decontaminate colors if I have colors that are actually affecting my image, especially from the background. So I just click on decontaminate color and scale it down to maybe around at most 50 should work. Okay, so at most 50 or 48 will work. I'll select this on and set it to new layer with max. So if I'm done, I notice that I still have some issues around the hair region here. I can see some of the background is still on this hair, likewise here as well, and likewise around here some of the background is still there. So how do I go about fixing that? I'll make use of this tool called the refine edge brush tool. The keyboard shortcut is called R. So I'll just come over here and left click and brush out these edges like this. Okay, so that is how I go about fixing those edges. I'll come over here as well and brush around these edges to also fix those edges as well. Okay, you can scroll down, come here, you can also take out that from this other end. So if you are good to go, you can then scroll down to the bottom and basically click on OK. That is if you are done. So I return everything back to default and you have your image looking like this, transparent. We have a new layer with a mask. So let's put a solid fill background at the back to see if the colors went out perfectly well. So head over to adjustments, apply a solid color, and you can apply any solid color of our choice and play around the colors, and you can see that this is perfectly like the colors on the background has been removed and the background was edited perfectly well. Okay, so that is in terms of that. So if you intend to use the image while working on a project, I'll advise you to right click on the layer and convert it to a smart object. Then you can drag it into whatever project you want to use it for, or you can save it as a PNG image so that you can use it to work on any project of your choice without having the background. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of this tutorial. If you do find it helpful, do it to like, comment and share with other creatives around you. If you are coming across this channel for the very first time, do it to smash the subscribe button and turn on the post notification bell to get notification whenever we upload new content. And for returning subscribers, thank you guys for always watching and see you in the next.